$6 for these. Black leather pair of boots. It kind of gives like futuristic cowboy vibes. I'm honestly not sure if they're men's or women's. Better than you need, Earthling. This is what a month of thrifting in New York City looks like. My name is Jay, and this is everything I bought in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So one of the privileges of living in New York City is that you have access to arguably the best thrifting and vintage shopping in the world. Literally within a block or two of me, there are probably 10 incredible vintage and thrift stores that I tend to visit on an almost daily basis. Also, because vintage shopping and thrifting has become so popular in New York, I find that stores are replenishing their stock on such a frequent basis that the sheer amount of opportunity to find amazing pieces like some of the things you'll see here is much higher than elsewhere. Although this isn't that much stuff, there's probably 20, 25 pieces here. I'm not always buying this much stuff in a given month, and what I buy will really just depend on what's available on a given day. But I will say, pretty much every day, I'll go on a little mental health walk and stop by 2 or 3 of my favorite stores, and more often than not, I will end up leaving with something. So without further ado, here are all the items that I thrifted in the month of December, living in New York City. So in total, there are 5 pairs of shoes, 4 pairs of pants, probably 6 or 7 shirts, and 3 jackets. And for everything we're about to go through, I will do my best to list both the price I paid and the shop that I got the item from. Enough talking, let's see what I bought. To start things off, we have this beautiful stonewashed black vintage tee. The company is Glyph Video Division. It looks to be some network or production company, but by far my favorite part of this t-shirt is the back, which says, "Better than you need, Earthling." It has this great little TV creature on the back. I love the washed out black color of this garment, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up cropping this tee, but we'll see. And I'm already forgetting, but I got that t-shirt from a store called Metropolis, which is right across from Fight Club. The next piece is this kind of Hawaiian, flowy, short sleeve button down. It's some blend of cotton and silk, not sure what exactly it is. I love a good flowy shirt like this for the summer. I used to have this one piece that I was absolutely in love with that I called my party shirt. Unfortunately, I lost that at my cousin's wedding in Miami. So this is maybe going to be my replacement to party shirt. I got this piece for $20, I believe, and I purchased it from L Train, which is a super popular store in the East Village. Next up is this super simple vintage Russell Athletic light gray crew neck. This is an XL, super easy to wear, super basic. And I believe I also got this at L Train, and I think I paid $15. Any vintage Russell blanks, super easy cop. Item number 4 is this almost Hermes print inspired bomber made by Cocoon. It's super like flowy, light, and silky. I don't know what the actual material is. It's 100% silk, so it drapes, flows really nicely. I think it's technically a woman's because it has the light shoulder pads in it that I'll probably cut out. But yeah, beautiful piece, although I'm not really sure if it's my style. This was another piece from L Train, and I believe I paid $25 for it. Up next is this vintage baggy, oversized, kind of flowy button down made by Tommy Hilfiger. I love wearing oversized button downs. They're definitely a staple in my wardrobe. This one fits pretty well, although one thing that I hate about a lot of button downs, at least in the way that I like to wear them, is when the collars have this button and are less like flared. There's definitely some term for when the collar is buttonless and flares out a little bit more. This is yet another piece that I bought at L Train, and I paid $15 for it. For this next piece, I'm technically cheating because I didn't actually purchase it in New York. When I was home for the holidays, I did a loop through a bunch of the stores that I used to frequent when I lived back home, and at my local Savers, I purchased this J. Crew collarless button down. This piece is beautiful. It fits me super well. It's super flowy, and this piece was only $8. Love this shirt. The next item is one of my favorite purchases from the entire month, and it's this beautiful vintage Tommy Hilfiger almost light corduroy button down. The material is like this super thinly lined corduroy. It's an XL, it drapes beautifully. The print on it, I don't really know how I describe it. It kind of gives like futuristic cowboy vibes, if that makes sense. I absolutely love this piece, and again, this was super cheap. I think I paid $10 for it, and I bought it at a Buffalo Exchange in the East Village. I love this shirt. Here we have this vintage drapey kind of grandpa sweater, if you will. It's a double XL. It's made by Aero Blue Jean Co. Funny story about this sweater is when I was in line to purchase it, I look to my right and I see this girl kind of giggling and I say, what's so funny? And she says, I literally just sold that sweater to the shop like 10 minutes ago. And I was like, well, shout out you. Hopefully it looks better on me than it did on you. One woman's trash is another man's treasure. This was $15 and I got it at Buffalo Exchange. Blazer 1, which is a bit wrinkled right now, is this number from Kenneth Cole, baby. I saw it, I liked how it fit. It's very summery, and that's kind of all there is. This was $20, I believe, and I got it at a store called Vintage Reserve on 11th. This is another one of my favorite purchases from the month. This is another cheating piece because I actually got it at a Goodwill outside of Boston, again, when I was home for the holiday, but it is a vintage Gap corduroy blazer. I believe it's a size 40 or 42 maybe. Fits super well. It's pretty heavy, so it's a little bit more warm than your standard blazer, and it's just beautiful. And I paid $8 for this jacket. All right, now onto pants. We have 4 pairs. The first pair of pants is this classic pair of Dickies Painters. They're in all white. I believe they were brand new when I got them, although I've worn them since. I'm thinking of doing a little project with these where I use coffee to dye them a light cream color, so definitely keep up with me if you want to see that. Classic pair of Dickies, super easy to wear. I got these at L Train, and I believe they were $15. Naturally, since I bought a pair of Dickies, I also had to get a pair of Carhartts. I really like this color. It's kind of a blend between a gray and a brown. They fit really well, and they were $12 at L Train. All right, these next 2 pairs are absolute heaters in their own right. The first pair is these pleated suit pants. I'm not really sure who makes them. They seem super old. They fit great, although I might get them tailored to be a bit shorter, but they're super comfortable. These scream Grandpa Core, and I'm all about it. And the best part, I bought these pants for $6. $6 for these. And then last but not least, I would probably pick this as my favorite item from the entire month of thrifting. We have this beautiful pair of all over floral print, 100% cotton trousers. Just look at these. They're made by a brand called Junie, which I've never heard of before. Let me know if you have. I'm honestly not sure if they're men's or women's. They fit super high-waisted on me, which I honestly love. But I also don't really care if they're men's or women's, because they're beautiful. They fit super well. They look amazing with loafers. They look amazing with boots. Definitely one of my favorite pair of pants that I own, period. And I got them at Buffalo Exchange, and I think I paid $30 for them. They're amazing. So I thrifted 5 pairs of shoes or boots this month, 4 of which I plan on keeping, 1 of which I bought with the sole intent to flip. So to get into them, first we have this black patent leather pair of penny loafers that I got for $30 at Vintage Reserve on 11th Street. Although they're not the most incredibly made loafers, as someone who's obsessed with penny loafers, I'm always down to buy another pair for cheap. These were literally brand new in my size, and they look great. Next up, this is the pair that I bought to sell, and they are the Jordan 4 Retro in the white cement colorway. I actually love this shoe. If they were my size, I totally would have just kept them, but they're not. They're a size 6 youth. If you want to buy them, leave me a comment or go to my website, shoprecycledhype.com. Ooh. They got the Nike Air on the back. They're literally in perfect condition. They're just a size 6 youth, and I wear 9.5. So this was by far one of the most trendy shoes of the past few years, and with good reason. It's a good shoe. I'm still up in the air on if I really like them, if I just tolerate them. They are a pair of New Balance 550s. I got these from a store called 2nd Street, which has a few locations across Manhattan. I walked into the store on Broadway. I had them in my size. They were $60, so I figured, hey, why not give them a try? I actually really do like this colorway, but I still can't decide if this is a shoe that I'm seriously into or not. New Balance 550. Second to last piece of footwear is actually a pair of boots. So these are a black leather pair of boots. I don't really know what style I would describe these as. They're made by Kenneth Cole. They're admittedly not the best quality, but they look good. They were pretty cheap. I think I got them for $35. And they're a great pair of boots that I can just kind of beat on and not really worry about. And I do really like that compared to my other pair of black boots. They're a bit higher, so they look great with, you know, a high cuffed pair of jeans. And for 35 bucks, you can't really go wrong with a staple pair of black leather boots. I got these at Metropolis. And then finally, to round off my purchases, we have yet another pair of black leather penny loafers. This pair is definitely more wearable as it's in a tumble leather as opposed to a patent leather. And what I really like about this pair is that they're a bit chunkier, they have a bit more of a rounded toe, and they overall have a bit more of like a utilitarian look than the L Bean patent leather pair. And they also have an entirely rubber sole, which is super comfortable. All around, they're just a bit more versatile, a bit more up my alley in terms of what I look for in a penny loafer, and I absolutely love them. They're made by a company called HS Trask, which again, I'd never heard of before, and I got them for $30 yet again at L Train Vintage. So I changed outfits. And that's because as I was editing this video, I bought some more things. What can I say? I have an addiction and there's just all this opportunity right outside my door. Forgive the time change and let's carry on with it. I have an additional 2 shirts, 2 pants, a hoodie, and 3 pieces of footwear to share. First off, we got this super simple, super cozy brown Carhartt hoodie. This is a double XL, it fits really baggy, nice and worn in, a bit of fading, and kind of just a staple piece. I got this hoodie for 10 bucks and I bought it at none other than L Train Vintage. Next up, we got this spicy sleeveless cutoff button down, which is made by a designer called R. Sweeter. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong and I can't remember what the R stands for off the top of my head. But this piece is absolutely sick. Definitely a bit more out there. I would describe it almost as like punk preppy, which is very much an oxymoron. And I can't wait to rock this in the summer. I love the distressing where the sleeves were cut off. And overall, this piece is just badass. I purchased this shirt from 2nd Street and I believe I paid $30 for it. Moving on, we have this beautiful Ralph Lauren herringbone button down. To me, this piece kind of sits at the crossroad of like grandpa core and western wear, which are 2 looks that I'm absolutely incorporating into my current wardrobe. This piece is super high quality, definitely a really soft, well-made weave. And this piece was acquired for $10 at Buffalo Exchange. The next 2 items are both pants, starting with yet another pair of white Dickies. These are the OGs, the 874 work pants. Everyone should own a pair of these. You can wear them in literally any setting. They're durable, they're versatile, they're comfy. They kind of can do it all. These are also brand new when I got them, and they were $10 at Buffalo Exchange. Trouser number 2 are these absolutely beautiful pair of super broken in Levi's 569s. The 569 is the loosest, baggiest cut that Levi's makes, and these ones have definitely seen their fair share of wears. They're absolutely thrashed, which I think honestly looks amazing. The cotton on them is so worn in and incredibly soft. They're comfortable as hell, and to me, the quintessential pair of baggy jeans. These 569s were $20, and I purchased them at Metropolis. And moving on to the final 3 items, we have 3 pieces of footwear. 2 sneakers, and a pair of boots. Starting off with a pair that I bought to resell. These are the Jordan 1 Mid and the Milan colorway. Jordan 1 Mids definitely get a lot of hate, and for me, it's more about the colorway, which in this case, I do particularly like. These are in amazing condition, and I absolutely would have kept them for myself had they been in my size, but they're not. I wear a size 9.5, and these are a size 13. But if you wear a size 13 and you want to purchase this pair of Jordan 1s, head to my website, shoprecycledhype.com, and you'll see these listed for sale. Or you can leave me a comment, DM me on Instagram. I'm easy to find. Jordan 1 Retro Mid, I believe I paid $75 for these, and I purchased them at 2nd Street on Broadway. Next up is a pair that I'm pretty fired up about. I'm not that big of a Supreme guy. There are certain pieces that I definitely love, but in general, I'm pretty lukewarm when it comes to Supreme. But the inner hype beast in me just had to make the purchase when I saw this pair of Supreme Nike Air Force Ones on the shelves for 50 bucks. They're in my size. They're in perfect condition. They were an absolute steal. I can wear them, and then if I get bored of them, I can probably sell them and make my money back, if not a little bit of profit. And as much of a hype beast as this might make me sound, take one of the top 3 most iconic Nikes, slap a box logo on it, it's pretty hard to miss. I got these at the Buffalo Exchange on Broadway, and I paid 50 bucks for them. And then finally, to round up the purchases, for real this time, we got a pair of boots. And not just any pair of boots. They're a big old pair of harness boots. These boots are made by a company called Dingo, which I believe you can find on Amazon. They're kind of just a carbon copy of the classic Fry harness boots. But that being said, the leather quality is still pretty good on these. I'm definitely going through a bit of a boot phase right now, but I'm absolutely loving this harness boot. The look is just so Western, so classic. A more versatile boot than you would think. And I think everyone should do themselves a favor and pick up a pair of harness boots. So that wraps up my purchases for real this time. Sorry for the switch up. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. So with all that being said, here is everything that I thrifted in the month of December. I'm not sure how much I spent in total. I'll tally it up right here. But as I said, there's about 25 items here. And I think the most expensive piece was, probably these 550s, which were 60 bucks. Again, do I buy this much stuff every month? Not necessarily. But I am kind of addicted to just popping my head into shops and seeing what's available. But yeah, if you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. I'm not new to fashion, but I am new to fashion YouTube, so I'm still figuring out kind of what my formula is here. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.